So, continuing with the part two of knowing what multilingual services are from Neeraj, I'm posting my next question. India has more than 1,100 plus languages according to records. Do you see future in Bharat becoming primary source of learning center and creating opportunity in the field of voice over and languages with
That's a
Indian
very good question. Yeah,
languages in light? Yeah.
yeah. It's a very good question, but it's a shocking truth and a little bit bitter truth that we never value our things. Throughout our history, this has been taught. And I'll give you a very simple example that happened in my life. The maximum money I got from the translation was huge money from a German lady who was trying to. I told you the story, and she was translating one of our Upanishad part into different German languages. So
Mm.
different German language, I'm saying different dialects and other things are very technical. I don't want to get into that part of it. So one that we do not value our language, we create a lot of propaganda, we create a lot of shouting around it, but actually on the groundwork, we are not doing it. Nobody's interested. Our literature is so profound that we are not even bothered to translate it. We are not doing anything. And like our natural resources that we are underutilizing. I don't know what's going on. And I did my bit, and now I don't want to do it because I don't want to spend my time, energy, and resources on this part. So the I'm not pessimistic, but I know this is very difficult thing to do because actually it needs a lot of movement, a lot of people to do kind of thing which we have to do it. Because our language is so rich, so powerful. But then when it's politically motivated, then we start talking about cholas, then suddenly we start talking about Hinduism and this and that. So uh, I don't know. I mean, I don't see
And
any
it is
immediate possibility.
and it's also surprising that statement actually came to me when I was framing the questionnaire for this interview that India has actually 1,600 close to 1,600 different
More than
languages.
that, in fact, there's so many dialect. I gave you the difference also
And,
between dialect, accents, and all this stuff. So every few, like there is a in Hindi kahavat that for after a few miles the water changes, and after a few miles the language changes. So
and
there are a lot of things.
mm,
Yeah. So idea is not that. See, I don't know. I'm a man of knowing this thing in life that we all have potential. Like we all are equally potential in terms of what potentiality required. But how much we can expand and expound it what makes a big difference in our life. Okay. So I don't know behind this so much shouting, but what we are trying to do. Other day I was reading something and I found that a lot of people are writing songs
uh-huh.
against one community. I don't know why. And these songs are like getting popular like anything because you see, like it's a lot of lies are being spread. If you look at, we say the love binds us, actually hates binds us. It's so shocking that when we hate people, then we start hating the other people and they become very close to each other. The people who are not hating others. So
Hmm.
idea, I don't know how we're gonna have it because just by having it doesn't mean we can use it also.
And
You know what
something
I'm
like
saying?
what and we have huge population, so we have a very diverse population already. Even so, for 1,600 languages, if one person picks up on one of it and improvises it, so even that can create an opportunity in
Yes.
itself, isn't it, in the whole teacher or the coaching field of languages, in languages.
More than that, the whole idea is that, see, there are two support systems required for anything to survive. For me, the ultimate guru, we have already discussed, the ultimate guru is nature, right? So what do you need? You need a tools. You need potentiality second. But second most important thing you need is the ecosystem to support it.
Hmm.
Like like 20 years of my career, I did a lot of things. I started something called forest bathing, which is a new concept in India. There are now only few players which are doing it, but people are not interested into it. Once or two or three people are talking about it in 1 year. Now, how I'm going to promote an idea which has to be a mass idea by the people? So potentiality is the one aspect. Unless we don't have ecosystem to support it, nothing can be done. Nothing will be done, and that's okay. Then whatever individually is possible, we keep on doing. For example, I started this platform, and we have done a lot of work. We are still doing a lot of work, but then it's not that we are getting so much work that we can do some kind of huge movement out of it.
Maybe it's awareness. Maybe it's not reached people at the
No
scale it should,
awareness. No,
because
I call it.
the
I told you
majority
this
is
on a
just
lighter.
in materialism.
Yeah, because most of the time, I
Material
mean, on a
world.
lighter note, I call it Vada Pav syndrome. So we want instant gratification. We want everything very instant.
Hmm.
So we want to go to, say, Europe and spend lakh of rupees, but we don't want to go to our northeast, which is very beautiful, equally beautiful. There is not less or more. We never want to spend 60,000 rupees there. We want to litter here in our country so much, but we go abroad and we try to be, oh, we are so nice. So that's the whole problem
I
is.
think that status
Now,
feeling is what comes when you go abroad, and I think
yes, you're
programming.
right. Bang on, bang on, bang on. It's a snobbish feeling because you want to show off. More than doing anything, you want to show off the things. So
Hmm.
sometimes it looks very difficult for me to even think about it. So now I've realized that मैं हिंदी में हमेशा मानता हूँ कि पहला पैर निकाल के छक्का आपको खुद ही मारना पड़ेगा. जब आप छक्का मारोगे उसके बाद वो 10 20 50 100 लोग आपके आसपास आएंगे. Because it's always now as I'm getting older, I realize one thing that you have to do individually. Once you do it individually, once you proved yourself, then there will be a mass. But you expect from very beginning that a lot of people would support you and do the work. But there is a few rare people like you, but there are very few, far and few, I would call it. So I'm not a pessimistic about it, but I'm not even overtly optimistic about it also.
Hmm. It's just the beginning, I would say. Like concept of forest bathing, even I wasn't aware. But we know trekking, hiking, which looks similar, isn't it? It's just that the essence of it is yet to be explained or revealed. I think somewhere we are still in that teenage or adolescent mode, जहाँ पे सिर्फ trekking और ऐसी चीजें, these kind of activities are like prominent, but something which could put
Even
a
forget about the
spiritual
forest
aspect
bathing.
to it is what has to come out now. I think it's a
No,
requirement and it's going to happen. That's for sure.
no, forget about the forest bathing. Even if you look at, I'm taking a statement from your statement. Look at what you said. Like earlier, we was thinking about a doctor, engineer, right? Even if you look at in language field, there are so many careers. Now people are not aware, the parents are not aware, nobody's not aware. And what is happening that they're trying to find out what could be done. So
And
they just
it's
want to
sad.
make money.
It's a sad
Yeah,
story. Like, let me tell you some reality of tier 2 cities and what I have observed in my near, like in my city. It's again this IAS UPSC thing.
yeah.
It stuns
They want to
me.
spend 25 lakhs. They want to spend 25 lakhs and they want to go to Ukraine or Russia and then do some medical and come back and they
And
want to
this
make it double or triple their that thing. They are not
there's
keen.
too much
Nobody,
fad
even if you look
about
at,
IAS. Now it's not doctor engineer. Now it is IASC and UPSC and all these officer posts like things. So
one is that, and secondly, I felt that people are not even doing a bit of research also before getting into career, which is a very serious thing, which is going to make or break up people, right? Do you agree with this or not? But they're not
totally.
doing any research. They're going through somebody's noise. I don't think, I mean, I lived in family. I don't want to be part of family, but I lived in family. I realized that not even a single proper discussion happens about a career in the houses. No, no, they don't talk about sex. They don't talk about real good educational sex I'm talking about. They don't talk about the career. They just talk about everything in, like in air.
I think
Oh,
more
uska
of
beta.
career, yeah, something what a person
नहीं,
likes, not what society or a group
मैं
likes.
वही बोल रहा हूँ कि वो उड़ी उड़ी बात बोलते हैं, अच्छा उसका बेटा आईएएस बन गया, अच्छा तुम भी आईएएस की ट्राई करो। मतलब उस पे ना कोई रिसर्च होती है, ना कुछ पे डिस्कशन होता है, ना डिबेट होता है। मैं वो बात कर रहा हूँ। इट्स अ सीरियस सब्जेक्ट, राइट? तो वो नहीं, ऐसी
Absolutely.
उड़ी उड़ी बातें होती हैं कि अच्छा नहीं नहीं, अच्छा वो देखा ना उसने इंजीनियरिंग बड़ी अच्छी की थी, तुम बीएससी कर लो। अच्छा उसने वो किया था, अच्छा फिर एक्टिंग कर लो, अच्छा क्रिकेट कर लो। मतलब इट्स नॉट अबाउट दैट यू आर रिसर्चिंग फॉर 10 days 20 days, यू आर रीडिंग अ बुक, यू आर ट्राइंग टू फाइंड आउट। I don't see like this. It's happening only that somebody is saying that, अच्छा शादी कर लो,
And it's a
अच्छा फिर
sad
ये काम।
reality. In 30 years, a lot
Yeah,
had to change, but still, somehow, we are still living in the old realm, you know.
no, we are not
At
changing.
least
I
Bharat,
I I
at
was
least India.
I was into relationship, and I felt that people are not even among their partner. They're not sitting and discussing things. Everybody is into some kind of different. I don't know. I really don't. I couldn't even figure out what is it. Everybody's glued to the TV, and what is coming in the TV, they are more interested in discussing. They're not discussing about what the real thing is. I felt very bad about it. As a communication expert, I feel really, really bad about it because I think we have to have a dialogue, and anything and everything can be achieved by dialogue, a proper dialogic discussion, I would call it. That's my own phrase, and I use it all the time. But people don't discuss. They don't discuss about business. They don't discuss about what they're doing, how they're doing. I don't know.
A lot has
So
to
it's not
change.
as sad. Yeah, it's not as sad, but this is what the reality is, and that's what. Let's face it. So
Yeah,
for me, I'm
actually,
not
there are
you.
such greater topics like, about business, about growth, about something like that is why this whole conversation today, I think many of them will be so I think they'll have a new spark in their life when they get to know that in voice and just with voice and audio, so much can be done. We are opening this frontier for so many just through
Yeah,
this topic.
one secondly, I think we all have to take a pause in our life, and we have to think and find out, do a good 1 or 2 years or 6 months at least to do a research on anything and everything. There is a very beautiful, I
And
don't know, I
even
come from a
career
background.
counselors, I think somewhere let this be a message to career counselors also. Like it's not only MS, MBA, engineering, and doctor. There are so many other careers which they need to research on to make it available,
So career counselor also. Okay, good, very good question. So the first job I got it here in Mumbai when I came back long time ago, and I was teaching GRE, GMAT, TOEFL. I'm sure you're aware of these exams when people go abroad and they have to crack this
language.
exam. Yeah, it's not just, there are two parts. One is the maths part of it, quant part of it, and the vocal. So I used to do only the English part of it, and not I was not doing the maths part of it. TOEFL, for example, is only English, but for example, GRE, GMAT, TOEFL, these exams has got other components also. Anyway,
Mm.
so even the counselors who were the professional counselor used to charge say 15,000 or 20,000 rupees in those days. Still, they have a template only. They work towards the template. They don't work towards opening up the new horizon. They're not educating people. They're just working on template. That look, do this, do that. In fact, I'll give you
Nothing
the
outside
secret.
of it.
It's not even the secret. They used to tell that which university the admission is possible, right? So
Mm.
what are the parameters? So for example, they must have collected the data over a period of time, and they understood this subject might go to this US university I'm talking about. This
Mm.
university go to this university, or this university goes to this university. So they have got a whole data. So on the basis of data processing, they find out what is possible, what is not possible. That's also a template. That's also a trick, I would call it. So my I don't know. I feel very bad because it's such a serious thing. People don't talk about it. I don't know why. That's what the reality is.
Yeah, the ground reality and the data what is given is way different. The ground reality is not what the data has given them. you know.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
But then people tend to rely. In fact, I was yesterday. I'll tell you a very simple thing. So I went to buy a new tire for my car, So I went there and they said there is called unconditional guarantee. So I said, what is unconditional guarantee? He said that if something happens to your tire after a few months, they would replace the tire and they would find out by technology, they would find out how much is actually the tire is used. So there is a
Hmm.
system they find out. So there is a word came from my mind. I said now technology is gonna make us more honest. Basically, we are not honest, but technology is trying to make us honest because now you say, okay, now look at this. This is what the science is saying that this much tire has been used. So I'm gonna give you this much amount of money, and this much amount of money has been subtracted from your amount. So why if you look at the machine, why they're getting into say apps and all this stuff? Because that is the way we are basically very dishonest. When I'm saying dishonesty, I'm not saying only two plus dishonesty. I'm doing by
Totally
nature, human is
agree.
not very
Hmm.
yeah. Like other day I made this audio file. I make everyday audio file for myself, for my kids and all. So it says that the success of any species is to live in harmony with the nature. So by that definition, we are inferior to any species in the whole world, whole universe. Because the basic tenet of any species to live in harmony with the nature. But we are not living in harmony with our nature. So that's a beautiful line. In fact, I recorded. I'll share with you if you want. So I do recording every day on the daily basis just to do my work. And yeah, so
And yeah,
that's the reality.
that statement, yeah, that is so true. Like it was very raw and real thing. Because
Yeah,
this same
because
thought has passed through my mind in my psyche also. It's like really, that is so true. Every other species is just perfectly fine except people. We need to work on that part.
yeah, see,
On,
this is
on
the
us, basically. It's only us that needs to change. Human species.
this is the video. I'll share it. This is where I was doing yoga and I made this
Uh-huh.
video, and this is the statement I was talking about.
I'll definitely go through that. And so, yeah, we are almost through with our session. And the final ask for you is,
Mm.
what is your note for teachers and coaches in all life skills industry?
So this is I was telling one of my friend. I really liked it. That I don't. This is a new concept popped up in my mind, and I'm trying to practice it um, with the uttermost honesty. I don't know how successful I'm in this, but I'll try my best in my life. Is that, for example, you are a girl, you're living alone, right? Or you're living with a family, or whatever it is. So your responsibility are twofold. I'll give you my story. So, like for example, I'm living alone right now. I'm living with my kids. So if I do something wrong, that's why, in fact, there's a beautiful word called acharya used in Sanskrit. I took it also this name for a while, and people used to call me Acharya Neeraj for a very long time. I stopped using it for some other reason because it becomes so dramatic and all this stuff, and I don't like thrills. But acharya is a word comes from acharan, comes from conduct. So anybody who's teaching through their conduct, not through the preaching, because talks are cheap. So acharya was one of the beautiful words, according to my understanding. I took it also this for a while, and even if you can Google it, Acharya Neeraj, you'll find me like in so many places. People used to write my name like that, but I stopped doing it for other reason. We'll talk about it some other time. But basically, the teachers or coaches, it's like I was telling somebody, if I smoke, I don't smoke, I'm saying if I smoke, I have no moral right to tell my child not to smoke it. I'll say, oh, no, 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 I'm grown up, I'm adult, I can do anything, you should not do it. But that's not correct, especially in this climate where everybody is known to everybody, not, at least not known, everybody is exposed to everything. So it's very difficult for you to cut in by saying, okay, no, no, I can do anything and you cannot do it. So one very important thing I think as a teacher or as a mentor or as a coach is we have to do that. We have to teach through our conduct. Our conduct should be our primary source of teaching or transmitting things, which people I seriously lack in most of the people. So-called big names and so-called small names. Everybody is just talking because talking is so cheap. So until
There's a lot
I
of
don't
depth
know,
in what
until
you said, and it synced in for me. Yes, it is that habit building and a coach's or a teacher's
because
lifestyle
look
itself
at
which has to show
yeah,
it out.
look at the Gurukul
Produce.
Parampara. If you look at the Gurukul Parampara, it was very bold from the part of a guru. People have not realized it. I've done a lot of work on this and I really done a lot of research on this. So if you look at Gurukul Parampara, what used to happen there? Guru were naked, they were exposed completely. The children used to go to their places and live. So if we live in somebody's places, for example, if I come over and start living in your place, I will be knowing everything about you. You cannot hide. You cannot act out.
Uh,
How long you gonna act
wow.
out?
I didn't know this aspect of it because I have a slightly, some different
It's such a
perspective on Guru
bold,
Shishya
yeah,
Parampara
it's such
because
a,
s-
yeah, it's such a
I
bold.
had this notion where a lot of things or a lot of knowledge was hidden, in that world.
No, no, more than the
This is
hidden,
why.
they are so, no, they were so blatantly honest. They said, you come and you see me as it is. Like, for example, people say, if you want to know somebody, start traveling with somebody or start living with somebody. Because now when you go to restaurant, you go to anywhere, both are makeup. Makeup is not in physical sense, but you're making up everything. Your posture, your gesture, your body language, everything, your hairstyle, everything. But if somebody is coming and living with you, you cannot hide. How long you can hide? So to my take is very different here because the gurus were so bold. That's why gradually it is shifted to a neutral ground. They wanted to make a school somewhere else. So even the teacher is coming prepared and the student is also coming prepared. They're meeting on a ground level. Till Dronacharya, it was a different way. Dronacharya shifted it back. Dronacharya was, I don't want to get into that, but Dronacharya was a little bit not that traditionally from that sense. So he switched the rule. He said, no, I'll come and teach. He was the first guru who decided to teach in the house of the students, to cut the long story short, and gradually shifted into a neutral ground. So not your place, not my place, somewhere else.
Schools, colleges,
Schools,
things like
colleges,
that.
whatever. But earlier the Gurukul was in such a way that because the Guru was saying, come and check it out me, the way I live, forget about my teaching.
Oh.
There's no hidden. And that's what the real transmission happens because then the real communion happens. Then the real relationship gets built up.
Wow.
So I
Something
understood
which
very
I never
differently.
really thought of. It would have been this way. And you can say it with such confidence because definitely you have researched so well on this.
No, it's a simple truth. You can see the Gurukul was always in the houses of the gurus. It's not I'm trying to twist anything. I never twist anything because I take as it is. Because for me, it is very important to be honest. And when I'm saying honesty, again, I told you the definition of
Keeping
honesty
it
is not,
in its
yeah, because I
essence.
want to be honest in myself. So I'll keep my heart clean. Honesty is not for somebody else. Honesty is for me that I can sleep well at night. So idea was that so onus lies on today's teacher is that to do something which they want to do, and they should do it.
And on the same note, even English or a lot of language teachers also, especially in the schools, it's not what it was in my time, 10, 20 years back. That finesse in language teaching. So what advice would you give for teachers
No advice, no advice. I
in
mean,
schools and colleges when it
honestly,
comes to language
honestly, I
especially?
see. Honestly, I'll tell you what society. If you look at today, we criticize politician or policeman or anybody you name it, but they are mere reflection of a society. Okay, right? They're also coming from society, is not being imported from some other country. So the teachers and anybody we are criticizing, essentially we are criticizing ourselves. That's the way I look at it. It's not that I'm trying to tell politicians are good or bad. I'm not trying to get into that discussion, but they are mere reflection of society. So what is happening that since everything getting diluted, the linguistic skills, their enthusiasm of teaching also, they're not passionate to teach also. They're just doing their job. Doing job is a different thing. Like for example, we are doing this interview based on our mutual interest. It's not a job. Neither you're doing job nor I'm doing a job. We're doing based on mutual. It's so, to lack of better word, it's more of a, I don't want to use the sleazy word, but it's a more of that word, where it just give and take, it's transactional.
Hmm. Because that finesse in even English, like it was English used to be considered like, oh, it's such a big language, and
Yeah,
now
because
even that is
they're
broken
not,
in
they're
such
not
a
keen,
way, and
no.
I have least hope for rest of the languages. Even our
Yeah,
own
same here.
mother tongue is also like कट काट के कुछ
Yes,
कर दिया है हम लोगों ने. So
correct, correct. So there's no, I'm not see again, I'm not trying to say this is good or bad, but then that's what the mere reflection, what is happening in society. Everybody is trying to do everything ready-made. They want to make quick money. So most of the teachers are having tuition centers. They want to push more student towards the tuitions, and a lot of things are going on. Even
this
the
is a big
students are
one.
trying to,
Yeah,
yeah,
the
the students are
tuitions.
trying to also get into those IAS and IPS as you told me, and they're getting into. So it's all machine kind of thing. If there is a machine kind of thing is going to happen. So I don't know what's going to happen. Even for example, when I enroll people in my classes, I keep on saying that you do your work. They don't come. They're not even bothered. They're giving money. They've given the money. They're not even bothered of coming. Except very few students they are coming. So it's like that. So I
Are
really don't
teachers
know.
also coming to you, like certain language teachers or school teachers also
Yeah,
coming to
yeah.
you?
There is IIT teachers. They used to come, but one that they don't want to open up with their own mistakes. They're not like they want to learn it, but they're not being, how to say, they don't want to really work towards it. They want something ready made. And since technology has come up, and then technology has given a illusion, again, mark my word, I'm saying illusion, that okay, everything can be learned. So that's not true. Everything needs a lot of time to do it. Like I'll give a beautiful anecdote. I got it from one of my cosmetic surgeon friend. So he said that few years back, around 10 years back, people used to come for getting a nose. They say, I want this kind of nose. I want this kind of lips. And that was good. Like when people would like to come and improve upon on their certain features. But today they're saying they're coming with a picture. They're saying, I want the Hrithik Roshan face. I want, so they, that's what the whole problem is. And I want the Julia Robert lips, or I want this nose. So they're coming with the right pictures. They're not saying that they want to improve upon, which is good.
Then where is this
So
sense of individual uniqueness,
yes, yes, yes.
advaya?
So even you don't understand the people, like what went wrong with most of the girls today, because if a girl posts something, there are a lot of people who are just for Western interest trying to pose her and saying you're good, and where they're getting confused that they think they have got so many people to praise them. It's not reality. So what is happening with the technology? Technology has, which Yoga calls it avidya. Avidya is not the absence of knowledge, but the illusion of knowledge. So Yoga talks about saying avidya for a very simple reason, that now we understood that we have so much illusion towards the knowledge. Why should I join you? I can go to learn from YouTube. There, in fact, I'm also struggling right now to create pre-recorded videos. So far, I was not. In fact, today I was thinking of that it's not working. I'm expensive in terms of my courses. So people are going to say they go to Udemy and they can do the same course for 300 rupees, 400 rupees, because there are no live sessions. These are the pre-recorded videos. Okay. So I don't know if the pre-recorded videos I could also make it and do it. I don't know how much they can learn it. I told them if you are doing pre-recorded videos, even you should not spend 300 rupees. You should go to YouTube and learn it directly. That's free. So I don't know where we're heading, how we are doing it.
Yes,
I'm not sure about
on
it.
the same note, yes, because there is in like YouTube is a whole world in itself. Yet even today, me being from a computer science background, I still feel that physical essence, that one-on-one essence Okay, even if it is
Yeah,
through internet, it is still required. Uh,
yes. Even you
Somehow,
won't believe the
sometimes
people.
you really do not grasp, and very few people have that willpower to learn on their own. At one point, you will want that coaching and that assistance and, a
And
way.
you'll be also surprised that people who are talking about the vocal, I'm talking about the communication work, right? And they want to text, they do not even call. Forget about even. So I don't understand how they could improve their communication skill by texting it to me. In fact, I have a format on my WhatsApp. I don't know if you've seen it, where I say people to record it or at least call me up, and then we can evaluate your accent and see where you're standing and what kind of things you
Right.
need to improve upon. I
Hmm.
do. In fact, I've created those systems. People are texting me. I don't know. So I don't understand. I don't want to even communicate because I've understood over a period of time. I don't want to communicate, spend my time towards this because they don't realize this. They're not even recording. They're not even talking. How are they going to improve their communication skills? I don't know. So this is what is the reality is.
And then it's going to be double pay because they're going to spend again to learn the same thing.
Let it be. See,
You know,
अंधेर नगरी
it's
चौपट
about
राजा.
time also. It's just not about the money aspect. It's about the time and again that
लेकिन
attention what
कौन
you're going to
कौन
give.
इसको. See, I went to a theater. I've got a lot of stories because I'm a storyteller. So I went to a theater and I came out from watching that wonderful play. So the friend of mine said there is a beautiful, like there's a very beautiful place where we can go and hang out for a while. I said, all right, let's go there. So I saw people are eating few things. Okay, so I saw a small kitten and I ordered something
Okay.
and we were waiting for it. And the kitten was almost crying and there. And then I thought we should give something. So there was a guy who has finished his dinner and I said, can you give me a little portion, which left portion? I said, you can give it to. He started giving me so much knowledge. कह रही इसको ये हो जाएगा उसको वो हो जाएगा मैंने कहा एक छोटा सा पीस मैंने मांगा था आप दे देते तब तक तो अभी क्या हो रहा है आज के जमाने में आप किसी को कुछ बताने जाओ तो वो इतना ज्ञान दे देता है आपको कि आप पागल हो जाते हैं अब मैं वो नहीं करता मेरा वो टाइम नहीं है मेरा वो माइंड नहीं है आप किसी को कुछ सिखाने जाओ वो कुछ आपको उल्टा ही ज्ञान बता देगा
Internet world. I know it
हाँ
all.
बिकॉज इंफॉर्मेशन हाँ
Kind of
इंफॉर्मेशन
a
उसको सारी है
I know it all syndrome now.
हाँ सो प्रॉब्लम ये है कि अब मैं वो नहीं करता मैं बिल्कुल अगर मुझसे कोई टेक्स्ट में बात करेगा I'll talk in text if somebody is calling I'll call I'm not getting into it because I don't want to disturb my peace for somebody else whom I even don't know I don't even care. So I've learned over a period of time, whatever. If they're doing, let them do it. I have to do certain work in terms of my personal and professional growth, which I'll keep on doing without any if and buts. And I'll keep on doing it. And that's what I'm required to do. That's what I'm supposed to do, and that's what I'm gonna do. So I would not even think about saying what somebody I would not. I'm not a behaviorist that I'll tell people to change their behavior and do this. It's very unless you're not paying me, why would I come and talk about something that is not required to talk? Fine, let them do
It's
and let
and
them do what
even
they want
this
to do.
I see like with this whole coaching and life skills and this whole now this is looking like a new industry altogether. Ki even like now just now you coined another term, behaviorist. Like even I'm surprised that even this is going to turn out like a profession in coming years. Wow, wow.
Yeah, because see, basically, fundamentally, people
Like have we come like to this
are
point where we need
yeah, they're
so
not
much
teachable. See, one of the
learning?
problems is that they're not teachable. So see, more than I mean, you understood and I understood also over a period of time that first you have to have empty. There's a word called patrata. I used it, you said you're in these words. So basically, you have to create some kind of teachability in yourself, receptibility into yourself. Then you can learn something. When you are already filled with so much good or bad, I rather wanted to use garbage, but I will not use it. And then how I'm going to overcome it? It's very difficult for me. In fact, teaching accent is one of the very difficult thing because I'm not just teaching, but I'm unlearning it.
Hmm.
पहले वो ब्लैक बोर्ड पे बहुत सारा लिखा है उसको मुझको मिटाना है फिर उसके ऊपर लिखना है ब्लैक बोर्ड अगर मुझे सीधे वैसे मिल गया होता तो मेरे लिए इजी था वो वैसा नहीं है खेल
Correct.
अब ज्यादातर लोग सक्सेसफुल हो रहे हैं क्योंकि वो ब्लैक बोर्ड के ऊपर और लिख दे रहे हैं, तो वो आदमी कंफ्यूज हो रहा है और कंफ्यूज में उसका मोटिवेशन है। आई डोंट नो इफ यू गेट इट। मुझे यही लगा, मतलब दिस इज एनालॉजी आई गॉट इट। तो बाबा,
No,
बाबा
very
उसको और ऊपर
beautifully
से
put.
ऊपर ऊपर और दे रहा है। हाँ, बाबा उसको ऊपर से ऊपर और दिए जा रहा है।
So well said.
Yeah, he is just fulfilling, he's pasturing his ego or her ego. हाँ, you are right, वो, like I used to be the part of one yoga center. I was learning there, so I went to a yoga center and it's, how you feel? Oh, I feel so nice. So there are five, they're called clap trap. I don't know if you understand the clap trap. Like everybody's clapping, you will also start clapping without knowing anything. It's called clap trap. ये बहुत होता है, इट्स कॉल्ड मास हिप्नोसिस। सो अगर आप क्राउड में बैठे और आप सो रहे हैं, अचानक उधर से तालियां बजी, हाँ हाँ, यस 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 यस, करेक्ट 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 करेक्ट,
Even if
so
it is
that's called
not.
capture.
Like,
Even
even
if you're
if
not
that
aware of,
individual has
you are
not.
sleeping, you're sleeping actually. So suddenly what happens, and you're half sleeping, suddenly people are clapping. Ush, yeah, yeah, oh, good, great, 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 great.
I
So
think this
that's what
herd
is happening.
mentality has to change,
Yeah,
and
yeah, it will not change, but it will not change for a very simple reason, because now people are not ready to empty themselves. See, essentially, the knowledge is anything which you empty. Like for example, if you look at the water flow, हमेशा वाटर उस जगह जहाँ कम होता है वहां जाके वो आता है। बट जब आपका ऑलरेडी फिल्ड है तो वो जाएगा कहाँ, वो तो ओवरफ्लो करेगा ना। तो वो नेचुरल है। और मैं इसके लिए अगेन अगेन मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ कि मैं पेसिमिस्टिक नहीं हूँ, मैं सिर्फ ये रियलिटी बोल रहा हूँ कि दिस
but
इज
then
व्हाट इज
yeah,
हैपनिंग।
correct, correct. जैसे आप
एंड
बता
आस्क
रहे
मी
हो,
रेमेडी।
you're trying to say that we are just going in one way. We can just, a lot of them, I won't say everybody, a lot of them are just going with it,
यस यस
not
यस यस,
holding back and thinking why education system is like
करेक्ट
this, not
करेक्ट,
pausing and thinking why IAS. That pause
बिकॉज दे
is
सी,
required, and I think that breakdown point is coming almost
no,
everywhere,
Vad,
actually, what we
no, the
see
Vad, you
nowadays.
understand? Do you know the Vad and ism? So basically, communism or Gadism or Vad, whatever in Hindi we call it, Vad, ism और कैपिटलिज्म इज बेसिकली क्या होता है, इसका मतलब ये है कि अगर कोई गांधीइज्म है तो इसका मतलब उसने गांधी की फिलॉसफी को सेंटर में कर दिया।